past few years, Governor Newsom has cited budget concerns as his #1 veto reason. He did the same when vetoing a bill that would have upped pay for state firefighters, and it's brought him quite some backlash.
Colleagues, I present AB 1309. It improves compensation for Cal firefighters by ensuring their salaries are more competitive with local fire departments.
Assembly Bill 1309, authored by Republican Heath Flora, was bipartisan, passing both in the Assembly and Senate.
The measure passes.
Newsom's veto message cited significant cost pressures for the state and the circumventing of collective bargaining measures.
The veto message is just dumbfounding to us because we put in there language for collective bargaining. We did not circumvent it. There was no immediate cost to the state of California because it's a negotiation. It could have been a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year contract to get us there.
Newsom's office tells us in a statement in part, quote, "This veto is not a denial of a pay raise, and we believe the matter of compensation is best handled through the collective bargaining process." Simply put, the bill would have narrowed the gap between what Cal Fire firefighters and some city and county firefighters make.
So working through collective bargaining, we've been working with Cal HR to try to increase the wages to bring us up to par. And over the last few years, we've managed to get it within about 45 to 50% of local government.
The bill asked to make that number within 15% of the average salaries of 20 California fire departments, including the County of Los Angeles and the cities of Chula Vista, Escondido, and Stockton.
Let's just take our firefighter ones right now, which is our basic entry-level firefighter, which makes $18.36 an hour.
AB 1309 was vetoed by Gavin Newsom. Basically, AB 1309 was to give the Cal Fire more money. Okay, right now they're making $18.36 an hour compared to city and local fire departments that are making a minimum of $29 to $30 an hour. You know, the one thing you have to know about Cal Fire is Cal Fire does all of the firefighting that no other firefighter wants to do. They're in the wildfires. They're the reason they protect the state forests, the mountains, the rural communities. They're the ones that if you have them, they can protect the bigger cities because they're taking care of the rural towns and making sure those things don't spark up to have a huge fire like it did in the Palisades. So you actually need to give them more money. They're going through a huge problem right now where they're losing talent. People go there and then they go somewhere else. But this is why we have to look at Newsom. Newsom. What are you doing? You vetoed this bill to pay the people to take care of us. This is why I can't stand with Newsom. Yeah, he may look good, he may talk good, but he's not doing good. How do you not take care of the people that's taking care of us and making sure that our stuff doesn't burn down? This is like perplexing to me. You don't want to give Cal Fire money. Why? Because the bill was created by a Republican, but it was a bipartisan bill. Both sides agreed. But as a governor, you are already thinking about going to trying to be president, but you're not taking care of home. You want to give money to these people that say they're going to do things for homelessness and all this stuff, but they're not doing anything. This is why we can't rock with you. This is why when we look at you, man, we don't see a person that's really want to take care of people. You sound good, you look good, hair slicked back, that's great, but you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Take care of the firefighters, man. It's your job to make sure they get paid so they can have the talent to make sure that we don't have these crazy wildfires like we did in the Palisades. I feel like the fire department needs to be taken care of just like the police department. Why don't you want to give them the money so they can work and make sure they can provide for their family? Because California is super expensive. So you want people to get to Cal Fire and work for cheap? So now they get to Cal Fire and now they're waiting for the city job to open up, then they leave. So how much money did that Cal Fire waste on training that person and then they leave? $18.36 an hour. That's minimum wage for a firefighter that's putting his life on the line for us. Not even for us, but for our stuff. Okay, so Cal Fire, they're everywhere. They're one of the largest agencies in the freaking state, maybe the United States. And they cover areas that are rural, not low-income places, but they're there to take care of all of the shrub and stuff and making sure that doesn't spread. How these big fires start is they start in little areas like that, little pockets of dry brush that just kick up. They make sure they maintain the forest, make sure they try to get some of this stuff out so it doesn't just spark. All you need is one spark on dry brush and it goes. As a former firefighter that did volunteer firefighter, that went through training at Rio Hondo College, I know a little bit about fire, okay? But how can you not pay the people that's doing the dirty work? The city has their own funding. They have all of that. But you as the governor, this is basically your agency. You have to make sure that they good. But you don't want to give them any money. But you want to worry about Trump and worry about what he's doing, what he's not doing. But how about you take care of your own? Like, how about you take care of what's going on here in California? But you already on your way out.
The average firefighter makes $29 to $30 an hour.
Tim Edwards, president of CAL FIRE Local 2881 Union, says it was years of planning before putting forth the piece of legislation. But he says January's Eaton and Palisades fires were proof these firefighters could wait no more.
We are in 38 different counties and 122 different cities where we are their municipal fire department. We are fully trained like a local city like San Francisco, Oakland, LA, San Diego. We are fully trained just like them. And we do the same job. We work more hours.
For some parts of the state, CAL FIRE is the only emergency response. Yet despite that high demand, Edwards says they're losing more personnel, some moving to local agencies for lower ranks but higher pay. Jenny.
That's one of the biggest issues is retention. Think about how much money a fire department could waste if they hire somebody, train somebody, and that person leaves, and they got to get somebody else all over again to fill that seat. So this is why they need more money. They need to be competitive to keep their talent. Some people would not mind doing that. They do have extreme conditions. They do have longer hours. They do a lot of things that a lot of guys in the city department don't want to do. But there's people that will do it. But you have to pay them, okay? You have to pay them for going out there and doing the things that people don't want to do. But like I said, I can't rock with Newsom because he's not taking care of the things that need to be taken care of. Everybody wants to focus on homelessness. Everybody's making money off of homelessness, but homelessness is not changing. Well, how about we give the money to the firefighters? How about we give the money to the police? How about we take care of the people that's taking care of us to make sure we're safe and we don't die because of a fire or because of some random act of violence? But this is why, man, when we look at Newsom, it doesn't matter if he's on the Democrat or Republican. If he's a Republican, I would have said the same thing. But you have to do your job that we voted you to do. But saying it's too expensive for the budget, but I'm pretty sure you done sent a lot of money to other things, a lot of wasted projects. We got to take care of the basics first. I think when people get into office, they have this grand idea of doing all these big things, but they don't take care of the bare necessities, the police, the firefighters, the schools, the kids. Those are things that should be the bare necessities before you try to do these grand things so you can look good, so you can try to be president. He's around now looking like he's trying to be president. He's trying to look good, but he's not doing what he's supposed to do. But this is the problem with politicians. I talked to this about my wife a lot. I said a lot of these politicians don't even know what a budget is. They never ran a business. So how can you say it's too expensive for the budget when you're not even working on that budget and seeing what things is wasteful and putting that money into things that we actually need? But this is why I can't rock with him. This is why I never really rock with him, because what he looks good. He sounds good. He plays the part, but he's not doing the part. So how can you try to become a president when you're not taking care of California, when you're not making sure that we have the resources that we need? We had a Palisades fire. There was no water. There's not enough water. As a governor, you should be shocked about that. You're at the top of the board. We're going to put the responsibility on you, and probably Karen Bass, but you're the governor. You have to make sure that that should never happen. This is your job. But he's on his way out. Hopefully we get somebody in there that has common sense, that takes care of the bare necessities first. Let's take care of the police, the fire department, the kids, the schools. Let's tailor this immigration down. And then we can do the big projects like a railway and all this other stuff that sounds good, that make it look good. But let's focus on the bare necessities, but not giving our firefighters, especially the ones that do the job that not a lot of people do, giving them minimum wage. There's some people that work at McDonald's that make more money than a firefighter that's going through extreme conditions and long hours. Make that make sense. So as a young man, would I rather be a firefighter and risk my life, or rather just work for McDonald's? Right now, these kids are not even looking at firefighting, because, especially this type of job, because $18, I can make that in my sleep. So we have to help the CAL FIRE firefighters. We have to make sure they get their money, because they're one of the biggest agencies. They need the money the most. They're protecting things that we think is not essential, but If those areas get burnt up, if those areas get all this fire and they come towards the cities, these city departments can't fight it. They don't have enough personnel as themselves. So as a person, you have to take and start caring about the firefighters. Everybody worries about the police, you know, they're gonna get their funding. Okay, cool. But the firefighters are the one putting on their lives as well every day to make sure that you can go home at night. But I'm sad to see this, man. We have people working to try to make things get better for these Cal Fire firefighters, but then we have a governor that's just going to veto it and say it's too expensive for the budget. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things in that budget that you have that you're paying for that you can take away and give to these Cal Fire firefighters. But Gavin Newsom got to do better. He got to do better. But look, man, it doesn't really even matter anymore. He's on his way out. I just pray and hope that we get somebody in there that has common sense. That's all.